Hello,
Right.
Internet.
We're here. Hello. Hi. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Apocalypse Keys. This is our. Oh, hey, my subtitles work. That's great. This is our first Apocalypse Keys AP on this channel, which is really cool. Pantsless Tables is doing a lot of really cool shit with stuff, if I may say so myself. I'm Steve. I'm the host, the producer, the content creator, the graphic designer, all of the stuff that you need to do this shit. That's me, because I can't afford to pay anyone yet. But anyway, yeah. So we're doing the thing, and I'm gonna leave the rest to our DM to take over because I suddenly got very awkward. Anyway, all right.
Thank you, Steve. We are playing Apocalypse Keys, a game about monsters struggling with their darkness and their humanity as they attempt to uncover, prevent, or perhaps even cause the apocalypse. I am Arman. I have been GMing for about 5 years, and I have loved Apocalypse Keys ever since it came out. We are in fact playing one of my mysteries, and one of our players will be playing a playbook I have written, which I'm very excited to see. But let us have our players introduce ourselves, and Steve, I'm going to throw the mic right back to you. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and maybe a line about the character you'll be playing?
Oh, okay, all right. Hi, I'm Steve again. Hello. I'm playing the Omniscient, which is a homebrew thing made by Ari from Illicit Peanuts. Which is I'm really grateful that they offered their homebrew playbook to us, which is I think that's really fucking cool.
Thank you, Ari.
Yeah, Ari, you're fantastic. So the Omniscient is like the vibes for the Omniscient. When I first read it, it just gave me it's here's what it is, right? I am incorporeal, ephemeral, and absent. I embody the transience and temporary nature of the world due for an apocalypse. My powers are all-encompassing, intellectual, and cognitive, and my heart yearns to perceive and be perceived. And plus other things that basically made me think this is like a Twitch streamer. Right, and I've been a Twitch streamer for like 3 years, so this perfectly fits into my brand, like it just does. So I'm a Twitch streamer playing a Twitch streamer. It doesn't get any more meta than that. So yeah, that's me.
All right, fantastic. Martha, what about you?
Hey everybody, I'm Martha. I am so excited because I am playing the playbook written by Armand the Scalpel. I will be playing Dr. Grayson Genome, a insane scientist freak, and I'm just so excited. Yeah, can't wait. I'm jazzed.
Excellent. Amir.
Hello, everyone. My name is Amir. I go by he, him, and I'm playing one of the official playbooks. I'm not being anything special because I'm playing this game for the first time. I'm going to be one of the last, and her name is Simona, and she's the last elf. Humans have done everything to destroy the elven kind on this planet, and she's the last. So let's see where that leads us.
And finally, Denver.
Hi, I'm Denver at DEA Grant Draws on the Bird app, Dendinius on Blue Sky, and DJ D20 on Twitch. My pronouns are she, they, and I am playing Delphia, who is the Surge. The Surge is one of the core playbooks in the Apocalypse Keys playbooks. So we'll see how things go.
All right, I'm looking forward to seeing what happens. Oh, wait, no, I'm the GM. I say what happens. So, with that, if we are all ready, let us begin. You have all been having similar dreams over the past couple of nights. Last night, things got especially intense. You see yourselves at the height of your powers. Delphia, you see yourself towering over terrified mortals. Your powers unleashed, cosmic strands of energy bursting out of you, massacring thousands, breaking the land apart. Dr. Genome, you see your creations brought to life and run amok. They are standing tall, 30 feet high, wandering through cities, burning them down to rubble, and roaring into the sky. Simona, you see darkness wherever you point. Void powers unleashed as time and space and reality unravel, tearing apart what little fragments of Earth were left behind by others' rampages. And of course, Screwdriver, finally freed from your ancient technological prison, you bring an end to this entire spectacle. You are the last thing humanity sees as it is wiped out. You are not the only ones there in this dream. There are hundreds, there are thousands of monsters like yourselves, tearing humanity apart, violently and ruthlessly. You all hear a voice in your head, one that says, "You need to understand how dire this can get. Help me stop this. Humanity cannot survive us giving in to our true selves." It is that voice that lingers with you when you wake up and all through the days to follow. Screwdriver, you are currently, and have been for a very long time, in a computer room filled with large computers from the 70s, a whole room full of heavy buzzing, whirring, processing CPUs, just all of which store the nigh infinite vastness that was once you. Right now, though you were once a god spanning the stars, you are currently computer programming, trapped in very outdated computers with nothing but an iPad on a tiny wheeled scooty to allow you to see the rest of the world. You are currently sitting with your room senior lab technician, Larry. The aftermath of those dreams still churning in your mind. What are you up to? How are you doing? How are you feeling?
I think right now Screwdriver is doing his best imitation of a human pacing back and forth, where like as best as he can on this scooter thing. So it's literally like a stand with wheels, with a screen on it, and it's you can hear it zoom up and down the whatever, like it goes like 10 feet and then it turns around, or like it tries its best to turn around but it can't really turn, then it does like a wide arc and it turns and then it goes back another 10 feet and then it does it again, and he's just one, he's annoyed because he's tired of being stuck in this body for so long, but also two, the dreams are a recent thing. It's not something that he's had to deal with as a as an entity from the beyond or whatever he's called now. It's more like this feels very mortal-ish to have dreams, and it's unsettling.
As you're dwelling on that, you see Larry is sort of hard at work, just clicking through a couple of things on a computer screen that is directly connected to your iPad, and he says, "All right, Screwdriver. I think we've been very hard at work at this, and I'm really proud of what the team's put together. I think we have managed to hold on a click, and you feel something entering your space. The programming, the computers that basically house the entirety of you have altered somewhat." And Larry points at the screen and says proudly, "Well, Mr. Screwdriver, you now have solitaire."
But you hacked into my systems to give me a game?
I mean, me and the team were talking. We feel you might be a little bored in there, cooped up all day. We wanted to, help you out.
Foolish mortal, I have lived for eons, and you give me a game? And then he pauses for a second as he's processing how to play the game. Oh, this is actually pretty cool. I do like cards. Thank you. Can you give me Minecraft?
Minecraft. Well, might be a bit beyond our budget. I mean, I did work all weekend. No, you know what? Minecraft it is. It's we'll work on it. We'll.
No, look, I'm very grateful for this. Right? Obviously, this is really cool. But Minecraft is like, I've seen the YouTubers and the Twitch streamers do their thing on it, and it seems pretty cool. So we could multiply it. You could put your Minecraft bed next to mine.
That's. You know what? That doesn't sound too bad. I heard tell that there's like a multiplayer Minecraft. Yeah, maybe we could get that working. But enjoy your solitaire in the meantime, Screwdriver.
Solitary with solitaire. That's okay. Thank you.
All right. Delphia, what are you doing? Are you at division? Are you with your or are you with your anointed one?
She is currently enjoying a nice, quiet breakfast with Roz, her anointed one. The last mission was a little bit too much for her emotionally, so she is kind of taking self-care day, as it were.
Right.
Nice breakfast, tea.
Nice breakfast.
There's tea. It's a very old-fashioned seeming breakfast. A lot of things made from scratch. Kitchen's a little bit of a disaster, but we won't talk about that. She still hasn't gotten the hang of modern technology yet.
You see Roz sort of looking around, sort of their hands are twitching a little bit as they see the mess. You can see that they are just one helpful comment away from just going and tidying up your kitchen, but they're trying to focus on you, and they say, "So, last mission was pretty rough, huh?"
Unfortunately, yes. I came a little too close this time.
Hey, but look, you held it together. That's the important thing. You kept yourself in check, and no one was hurt, right?
Nobody was hurt. At least not on our side. Yeah, it's fine. It's fine.
Oh, yeah, no, that is genuinely amazing. You should be proud of yourself.
I worry if I came so close this time.
Well, I mean, that's what I'm here for, right? To help with that.
Yes, I worry what could happen to you.
That's what you're here for. You guide me through that. I help you. You guide me. We're there for each other.
Yes. I'll get started. And she'll just start cleaning up.
Roz immediately just leaps to their feet and helps you along. All right. And while you are doing the dishes, while you're getting the soap and just putting getting the trash ready and all of that and the rushing water hits your ears, you start to think of just how good it felt in the dream to let everything go, realizing that you could burn this apartment, burn this building down in the blink of an eye if you really wanted to. And your hands start to shake a little. Dr. Genome, how are you doing this morning?
The doctor is doing amazing. He had a beautiful dream. It is everything that he has ever wanted, and he is racing to and fro in his lab, kind of invigorated and anticipatory for new experiments and new concoctions to build, kind of new ways to flex nanite inventions, kind of the nanotechnology that he wants to use biomedically, technologically. So he's just kind of like racing to and fro. He's got his like protruding spare limbs that are kind of bug-like limbs, all four hands full, just kind of concocting and typing, a flurry of excited motion.
In one part of your lab, you something starts to stir, and you realize that your creation is, or at least what of your creation you've made so far, is getting restless.
No. Number 3. Okay, you're so decidedly not ready yet. Actually, okay, so. You need maybe at least a spleen before you can actually wake up. Okay. Okay, well, I can fix this. And he's going to start kind of noodling with, like, spare parts that he has to, like, try to get this creature to stop moving before it's ready to be born, essentially.
There are readings. Its brain activity has been off the charts. Well, your charts go pretty extreme, so still within acceptable chart level, but its brain activity spiked in a way that it is that your creature still hasn't come down from. And you note the time. It happened around the same time you were having your wonderful dream last night.
Okay. So, interesting. Okay, so this is all unexpected and happening ahead of schedule, but this is why we pay for the equipment that we have. Okay, perfect. I can make you ready. And he'll start he'll analyze the brainwaves a bit and just kind of, he'll start thinking about it again. He'll start he like shuts his eyes and kind of starts like reliving the dream, and just to see kind of if it spikes the same activity from the creature.
It does not.
Okay. So, memory, not as potent. Jot that down. Okay. Screw biotechnology. Okay, I'm actually just going to use pure machine parts, and then he's going to start gathering gears and computer pieces to kind of start
stringing this machine into readiness, or this creature.
Okay. This sounds like an It's Alive roll. First roll of the game.
Okay.
Okay, my beautiful son.
That is a 10.
Okay, excellent. It is coming along nicely. Go ahead and add a tick to your It's Alive Doomsday Cross and tell us exactly what you're doing here. Or vaguely what you're doing here. Either works.
Okay. The doctor is, instead of using the like grown parts and the kind of things that he would use for a typical bio abomination, things of like skin and sinew, instead he is like essentially picks up an old Dell laptop and like crashes it over his knee and just takes some of the like little pieces from inside and starts fashioning them to the like the bits of the creature, and is essentially just trying to like give it gears and give it kind of like a little like more of a techno circulatory system to like give it a better chance at living before it's ready.
Right. And it starts to whir and click and squelch in all the right places, and you get the feeling that it today or even tomorrow might be the day your creature at least comes to consciousness for the first time.
Okay. We will need to prepare a bassinet. Okay, I need to prepare a baby room for you,
Essentially.
All right, and as you prepare for that, we come finally to, appropriately, to the last. Simona, where do we find you?
I think Simona would be meditating in her last fortress, which is basically the last of the fairy mounds on Earth. And after such, horrifying dreams, because the goal isn't the end of everything. The goal is the end of humanity and the new beginning for the fays, for the elves in particular. She's just trying to gather herself and get in touch with her culture and with her people, even though they're not there, at least in the place that still holds the memory to them.
Right. And how is it going? How do you feel? How is the dream from the night before affecting your thoughts at this point?
Does not work. Meditation is not working at all. There's no empty mind. There's every time that outside input and like everything else in the world is cleared out of her mind, the dream just like pops in and punches her in the head again with the images of other creatures. And the only thing that is lacking basically in that dream are her people, are what she's trying to bring back.
It's a dream that is in some ways very close to what you wanted, while in others being exactly the opposite. You know what cost you need to pay, and this dream is bringing that cost about, but what it is meant to buy is nowhere to be seen. All of you receive a visit from an agent of division. It is the same person for all of you. Their delivery person tends to look the same, just a simple a man in a black suit, black tie, and sunglasses, leaves you an envelope that you have come to recognize. It is unmarked, it is gray, and it is always a little heavier than it logically should be. those of you who open it up see a brief. Omen class monsters, there has been a murder at Mercy Mansion. The mansion has been closely monitored as a potential location for a door of power for several years. While under the monster rehabilitation program known as Mercy, the recent killing of werewolf clone Amit R has opened the mansion up to investigation, specifically at the request of Amit R's ghost. Investigate Amit's claims that a Harbinger class catalyst is reverting monsters to their darker natures, and eliminate the threat as permanently as is possible to prevent any chances of ascension. Some of you, on seeing the word Amit R, or possibly on seeing the word werewolf clone, have a memory begin to stir. One of you was part of the team that captured Amit, alive at the request of Mercy caregivers. Mercy is known throughout the division. It is sort of a counterpart to what Division does. Well, Division has monsters working to fight and defeat other monsters to prevent the apocalypse and prevent the worst from happening. Mercy attempts to rehabilitate monsters and help them become productive, if still hidden, members of society. So yes, one of you was part of the team that captured the clone werewolf Amit, alive and at the request of Mercy caregivers. What signs of intelligence did you recognize in the monster you captured? And how have you felt about reports of his progress towards humanization over the years? Any one of you could volunteer to be this person.
I'll do it.
Okay.
I think this could have been maybe one of the first few missions that Screwdriver went on. Still unsure about how he can help just being on a scooter, but somehow they were able to tap into their telepathic abilities to communicate with the werewolf clone that they meant no harm, and they were here to help. And when they managed to calm him down, make some offhand joke about how the entire scooter's framework should be refitted to be made with silver now because this is weird shit. And if you look closely at the scooter, there are bite marks at the bottom that still have not been replaced because these fuckers are so fucking cheap. Even though they run a division. Yeah, and hearing progress reports from Division about how well sorry, I forgot the name. The werewolf clone has been Amit. Okay, yes, Amit. I'll write it down because I will forget. Yeah, hearing progress reports about how well Amit has been doing. He does feel like a sense of pride, almost like these new emotions that he hasn't felt before, and it further tries to further sort of makes him a little uncomfortable because all these human emotions or mortal emotions anyway. So it's like a combination of pride but also worry, and now hearing that this person who could potentially have been a friend is gone is a sense of loss that he hasn't felt before.
One of you has spent time at Mercy Mansion in perhaps a misguided attempt to become, or at least appear, more human. Which one of you was it? And how did you feel about how you were treated there? And why did you leave?
I think that would be Simona. It was before the scale of what was done to her and her people became clear, and she realized that everything has gone too far, and there's nothing to be gained by becoming more human because humans are the monsters. and that's why she left Mercy Mansion.
Included in the brief is a short card that tells you where to be, which you are all familiar enough to know that there is a division meeting room for all of you to gather, and at what time, which is 9 a.m. the next morning. Is there anything any of you want to do before you meet up for this mission?
Have we worked together before? Quick clarifying question.
So, Division assigns its agents more or less at random, or specifically if they feel like a certain set of skills can help at missions. But given that Monster's talents are so unique, it's rare that any one power is perfectly suited for a single mission. So, you have all, at various points, worked with each other, but the four of you are not like a regular team. You know each other, you've worked together, you've possibly saved each other's lives. You possibly some of you have had some interesting encounters with each other in the past, and are definitely familiar enough with each other to recognize each other when you see each other again.
I think maybe knowing that Screwdriver was on the team that found Ahmed, I would just in the midst of kind of like doing different work, I would like secure the envelope, and then I would take out a flip phone, like a burner flip phone, and send a text that would just like light up Screwdriver's screen.
Mm-hmm.
That's just, don't know if you heard, but it looks like something happened to Ahmed, and I'm sorry for your loss, for whatever it is you know already. And I'll just shoot off that text.
Any replies, Screwdriver?
Oh, I think, firstly, his entire screen is going to vibrate when he gets the text. Because he doesn't get text that often, so he doesn't really know how to turn them off.
What is that sensation like for him?
It's like his entire being is shaking. He feels it all the way where his actual mind is, like in that room with all the boxes. He feels it that it's like a jolt of electricity, and he stares at the text, or like reads, or like how does a monster that's actually a screen read a text that's actually on the screen, but it's in the screen, but it's still on the screen, it's
It sort of pops into your awareness. For a moment, there's only one thought in your mind, and that is the text of this message.
That's so horrifying. That's the scariest part.
For that brief moment, you embody the text.
It's a weird text to embody.
I love it. And he's just going to... I'd like to think that even though he has like a whole body, he has to like manually drag his consciousness over to each letter to send the text. So if anybody's watching the screen, they just see like a cursor move over to each letter, and it just says thanks, full stop. Are we meeting ? And then with a dash, it's like signed Screwdriver.
And just signing Screwdriver takes you like 5 minutes.
Oh yeah.
Each keystroke is just a mental battle as you will the cursor to move across the screen. But you manage it, and yeah.
I was not expecting this much comedy, but here we are.
The idea of how long that ... on the iMessage stays there, and it's just one sentence.
It's like the old school texting with the old Nokias where you had to press each letter like 3 or 4 times.
Grayson remembers the trials and tribulations that Screwdriver has to go through to send a text message, and just sends back, "Yes, see you tomorrow, XOXO."
And you get that text back, XOXO just becomes the entirety of your being for a couple of brief seconds before you regain control of your processing systems. You have omniscience. It is far too frequently overwritten.
Suddenly, I have an urge to go rewatch Gossip Girl. Yes.
All right. Anything else anyone wants to do before meeting together at the briefing room?
Delphia did prep for Roz.
Okay. Sorry. Do you just is this just a goodbye, or is this a specific move you're going for?
It's enough things that they can just toss into a pan on the stove to heat up and heat through to last a few days.
Okay.
She's not sure how long this mission will take. At the very least, she can make sure Roz eats well.
Okay. All right. So, the 4 of you arrive. Screwdriver, of course, coming in last. With you, you all hear that telltale as the scooter comes into the room. It is a small white room, and at the center of it is a figure that seems to be made of pure shadow. You've worked with this person before. They are a creature known as Never Was. They are translucent black from head to toe, and they're sitting cross-legged in the middle of this room. And you.
Simona is just expressionless. You don't even see her face under the hood and the cloak that she's wearing. She's almost as shadowy as Never Was.
Oh, we're back. Sorry about that. My internet died. We're okay.
It's appropriate for your character, so that works.
I agree. Yes. I think he just short-circuited for a second, and now he's back.
Grayson does the hard restart on Screwdriver, just glitch.
And with no objections, Never Was extends herself, and you are all surrounded in a pentacle of shadow, which pulses once, twice, and then everything goes dark. The way Never Was works is taking you through all the paths of your lives that could have been, all the possibilities, all the timelines of worlds that could have been, to bring you to the one where you are at the place where you need to be. It is a sort of metaphysical version of travel, and it's hard for those of you that have it. For you, Screwdriver, this is a fairly simple trip. You just see shadows flicker in and out of your camera's vision. For the rest of you, you see pathways. You see versions of yourself that never were, that could have been, that you have always wanted to be, and that you have always dreamed of being. These visions are for your eyes and your eyes alone. But a part of those visions linger with you till the moment you are suddenly deposited on a grassy field right outside a fence. And there's an iron gate that says, "Welcome to Mercy Mansion." A long driveway up to a large brick mansion that appears to be in the middle of a hilly area. Trees surrounding you for as far as you can see. Those of you who keep track of the time, you'll notice that the sun is in a very different position from where it was. You had left sometime in the morning. It is now very much in the evening where you are. Screwdriver, your local GPS tells you that you are at a hill station in southern India. And Never Was sits right there between between all of you. There is the black pentacle is basically still surrounding you, and the smoke above their head says, "Whenever you wish to return, I will be here." And a black smoky arrow points you towards the mansion. Before you can enter, however, another translucent figure appears, walks up to the gate, and opens it. Things open, and you see Amit R. He is the ghost of Amit R. Even though Amit R. Himself was a cloned werewolf, Amit R. appears to be a lot more human. Dressed in just a simple sweater and a pair of pants, glasses, ghostly glasses on the edge of his nose, hair combed to the side, and oddly enough for a ghost, walking straight towards you, as he says, "You must be the agents of division. Welcome." And the first thing you notice, all of you, is that the voice you hear coming from this ghost is the same voice that spoke to you in the dream.
We are the agents of division, insofar as we're assigned from them to investigate, well, your untimely death. Sorry.
I appreciate it.
By the way. So I guess starting question, do you have any memory immediately of potentially what happened? Is there, anything that sticks out to you about the circumstances of this that are weird?
Well, and he will gesture towards the gate and have you all follow him inside as you walk along the long driveway towards the mansion. He says, "When I was trapped in the werewolf form, my consciousness was somewhat buried. I remember very little of my life as the wolf. I remember hunger. I remember rage. I remember a need for violence. And that was just my life. But there were moments of goodness that I do remember. Moments of relative peace. Moments of companionship. Before this form was freed from the wolf, was a rage unlike anything I have ever felt when I was alive. It was all-consuming. There was rage and there was contempt. I did not know my wolfen form was capable of a emotion as complex as contempt, but there it was, filling me. Contempt, rage, pain, and then release. I felt a certain freedom, but I was confused. By the time I was able to coalesce into this version of me that you see here before you, by the time I had managed that, whoever had murdered me was gone. All I saw was, well, myself lying there in a pool of blood and fur. I can tell you I was stabbed. Very big weapon, but But yeah, and there were no footsteps in the blood. Although werewolf blood very thick, takes a while to form a proper pool. That's all I can remember. But yes, I'm here to guide you around Mercy Mansion, to lead you to the scene of my crime, and answer any questions you might have. As he says this, you notice large bowl chimneys of them. Pay no attention to that. That's fairly low.
Now, okay, you say that. You say pay no attention to the lightning coming out of the chimney, but this is a crime scene, and that feels wild.
Oh, I've done much worse to chimneys before.
Now let's get into that. Okay, well, I'm going to need some elaboration on that. Of course, Duffy. But, okay, so does this seem like does this seem like above board for a ghost? Like the way that he's describing kind of what has happened here is very, very helpful. Does this seem like the behavior isn't wacky wild, the behavior is normal, this is just like somebody also trying to be helpful at the scene of their death?
Let's see. I would say from what you know, that this, if you want to make a roll specifically to try and figure things out, if you feel it's appropriate, go ahead. But at the moment, this is unusual for a ghost. All of you, in your time, ghosts are usually, well, they're haunted. There's something that is keeping them here, that is not allowing their soul to move on, and it is something usually painful and traumatic and powerful, something that renders them senseless, usually, or some version of. It is rare to see a ghost so collected, especially one that walks instead of floats through the air.
Do we think it has something to do with the fact that they're a clone?
It could, possibly. Your scientific mind is filling with theories and possibilities, but it's hard to say for sure.
I think Simona would just be confused and doubt everything. And I have this feeling like this would manifest as her trying to grab the Amitar by the neck and just slowly whisper in their ear and ask, "I always wondered, do ghosts dream?"
And your hand actually makes contact with their form. Your void powers helps solidify what is essentially a lack of material. And I'm gonna just pull closer. Roll to. I think this is an appropriate moment for a dark, as you enforce your will on someone to get some answers.
Okay. We don't have any. Let's talk about like technical stuff for the characters. We don't have any darkness right now, right? We
At
still
the
have
moment,
to gain it.
None of you have any darkness tokens, no.
But I gain 2 to 4 darkness when I react with doubt or confusion. Can I have some now?
You know what? I will say, yeah. How many would you like? 2, 3, or 4?
I think the confusion is not deadly, so 2 is like fine.
All right. And do you want to spend those tokens on this roll?
Yeah, I think she would spend both of the darkness. Just like anybody watching from the side would see her like shake her head inside the cowl, almost like ghosts, but and then just quickly go for the Amidar's neck, and immediately spend the 2 darkness. But let's roll.
Okay. Go ahead and roll.
That is 7.
Ooh.
That is 7. Okay.
Yeah.
You, Amit, smiles at you. Amit just simply says, if you would excuse me, I don't like... And suddenly you feel your mind assaulted by thousands and, hundreds and hundreds of not very powerful voices, but the sheer number of them is overwhelming you. Screwance, not a powerful psychic force, but a collection of psychic forces nearby you. It was hard for you to notice at first because there were so many small ones, and this is already a very populated mansion. But now they are concentrated, and the rest of you see a cloud of blackness around Simona's mind. Simona, you feel you're being made to feel small. You are being made to feel weak and afraid. This is what the voices are trying to do to you. They're saying you are not enough. You shouldn't be here. You should not have hurt Amit. I would like you to mark a condition.
A condition immediately. Oh wow.
Mm-hmm.
I think she would not feel despairing, but she would feel cornered more in this case, and just kneeling on the ground in front of the ghost, clutching her throat now and the side of the head and stuff like that. That's the condition I mark.
All right. So you, Amit immediately says, Shadrach, no. This is it. It's fine. It's fine. She was not hurting me. We're okay. And you start to feel in your voices, little voices start to break away. Some voices are like, hate you, angry. How dare you hurt him? Not enough. Some voices say, oh, sorry, my mistake. Some voices are like, fine. Some voices are like, why are there so many thoughts of the day here? One of them just goes, you're just so many voices start her and leak away until finally you just hear one final voice saying, we've got our eye on you. And you see now in front of you the black cloud around Simona's head filters away and sort of pours into a humanoid shape of pure darkness that buzzes in front of you. A voice goes, sorry. Hi, not sorry. Where are we? Well, who are you? No, rude. Sorry, apologies. Why are you thinking of hi? Which one of you is... Oh, you're a powerful one, aren't you? One voice is trying to speak and while conveying many different thoughts. And Amit says, Shadrach, the song, just hum with me. It's very off-tuned, but the voices come together on this one tune, and soon they're singing in unison. And Shadrach says, we, I, they, us, some of us, not all of us, so, apologies. We are Shadrach, the Shadow Hive.
Delphia will curtsy, and since she's got, those big poofy Victorian era dresses, yeah, she's wearing one of those. So she's got plenty of skirt to curtsy with.
You see bits of Shadrach break apart and attempt to form the outline of a skirt. But the most of the hive stays where they are. Amit says, I I'm so sorry. This is my friend. This is Shadrach. The Shadow Hat. They're a little protective. I am sorry. Yes. Some. Yeah, sorry, I didn't. The agency said you were Simona. I'm so sorry. I did send you that dream. I shouldn't have. I should have brought it up earlier. That was me. I wanted to talk to you all in private about that. Shadrach, do you maybe go see what the kitchens are up to? I heard that uh the George is cooking up something special, and there's another buzz from the hive as Shadrach says, why George, I don't eat, no mouths, no stomach, no digestive system. Deception? And Amit goes, yes, Shadrach, it's a polite deception. We talked about this. White lies. I want to talk to these agents in private, please. And thank you. And Shadrach just sort of buzzes away, back towards the mansion.
Oh. Were Ahmed and Shadrach like entwined? Were they tangled together and they like split apart?
At no point, Shadrach appeared to have come from all over elsewhere, other parts of the mansion, appeared to have manifested.
Oh.
Screwdriver, actually, you would have noticed, in hindsight, with your psychic power still working, Shadrach was there, watching the whole time, but there were just a large swarm spread out, concentrated as soon as Amit appeared to be attacked. And in fact, Screwdriver, you little mote of darkness is hovering around your screen, saying, "You're powerful."
Oh, hi. Hello. Are you part of Shadrach Amit's ghost stuff?
Yes. Could I be a part of you instead?
Oh, I don't know about that. I exist in a screen. This is all I am. I don't think it's going to be a lot of fun.
They can find you. They can help. And that is all this little mote says before suddenly, quite abruptly, disappearing.
Holy shit.
We're in danger. Okay. So, you sent reoccurring dreams to us.
Yes, I knew that Division. I was the one who put in the request for Division agents to investigate my murder. It is against protocol, but it is rare for the recently deceased to be represented by themselves. So I had a bit of. There is precedent. I believe. Just follow me with you, and he leads you all not through the front door, but way off to the side. Is just a small. There's a smaller door that leads up a couple of a flight of stairs, into a large library.
Stairs? Fucking.
He picks you up. One of the group just sort of picks you up. He leads you upstairs. You do see once you get to the top of the library, on the far side of the library, there's a wheel ramp to get up these places, and an elevator. The shortcut he took you to, no stairs. And again, you notice that he walked up every single one of these stairs, and even appears to be slightly winded as he's at the top of them. And the library is empty. at the moment. He uses a key to, he takes a key from inside his pocket, which is not spectral like the rest of it. He opens the library and has you sit down. He says, we should have a couple moments of privacy. Something is going on here in the mansion. Monsters are... We work hard, or I guess I worked hard, and some of them worked hard to contain ourselves. We're all monsters here. We have impulses. We try to keep them tamped down here. We try to be better. It's a difficult process. But it is a process, slow and steady, that over the years works. Something in this place is turning all of that progress back. I believe that's what happened to me. Something set me off. Something filled me with a darkness and rage I not understand. And it is happening again and again. And agents, I worry about my friends. I worry about what's going to happen to them if this continues. And I don't know if the staff can be trusted.
You think it's the establishment, the institution?
I don't know. All I know is that they're hiding something from me. It's possible they were always hiding something from me. I did not have the awareness as a werewolf to question it. But they are keeping many things close to the chest.
Simona, does that track with your experience here? When
I lived, I think Simona would just exhale. You hear that sort of like reverberate through the library. That sound, and she would say, when have humans not hidden something away? Yeah, what would be her experience here with the other monsters and with the what do I just say what happened, or should I roll for it?
So this will not be a roll. I would say I would give you in summation. Your experience here was a little while ago, and that there's a lot of strictness, especially with the human caregivers. The human caregivers essentially run the mansion. They have strict rules for the monsters here. There's a schedule that they must adhere to. The principal, at least Principal Smith, who heads the mansion, treats everyone, all the monsters here, like a school. They have a schedule. They have classes for management. They have, and you would have recognized where the lightning would have come out of. They have a room where excess powers can be siphoned off safely, for people, for people, who have powerful surges. But for those who absolutely cannot be tamed, there is also something that there's a rumor of something known as the pit. That is, you've not heard much about the pit, and the staff refuse to talk about it. But you have heard monsters who swear they've been there, as much as the staff denies it. And
I would ask the ghost.
Yeah.
I would ask Amit, were you murdered in the pit?
And Amit says, no, I was murdered in... Well, not far from here, actually. In the library. I honestly do not know what I could have been doing here. I mean, ever since I died, I've been spending a lot of time here. I've been making up for lost time, but as in my werewolf form, I could barely hold a book, much less read it. And he points off a little to somewhat to the west, and there's you amongst a stack of books sort of turn off a corner, and there appears to be a large space over in that direction. They've moved my body. Those would be that's being held down in the morgue. But for the most part, aside from the blood and fur that they've cleaned up, the crime scene is largely intact. It's why I have access, and he jingles the keys to the library.
One more question about the mansion. Would Simona have met Shadrach here the last time she was there?
Shadrach was not there when you were here. You would have, and you. I mean, you were. There are new recruits coming and going all the time, and it's been years since you've been here. Shadrach is new.
Gotcha. That's it for me.
So, is this Shadrach person? Are they one of the people at the mansion who are here for rehabilitation, or are they part of your ghostly
Yes.
essence, or how do you meet?
Oh, Shadrach's my friend. They have been they spoke to me when I was a wolf, when I was alive. They swarmed my mind and fed me stories and shared memories from 1,000 different places and 1,000 different times. It was, well, it felt a little bit like the sped up version of what I do now when I read books. There were not many things that could soothe me, but Shadrach was one of them, and I am delighted to make their acquaintance now that I have the mental faculties for it.
So they've been around you this entire time, but they didn't see who killed you?
They are not permanently around me, no, but I think they were curious, hovering around with the... we don't often get many people from your organization visiting us.
Okay, fair. So you what's with the not ghost stuff? Like, I saw you walking up the stairs. That was kind of strange. You're not floating as ghosts do. Do you know why that's the thing?
Oh, that's just... I don't have... My name is Amit. That's the name I was given, and that's the name I chose to keep. But I was cloned from another man, another werewolf, a person named Amit. I do not have his memories. All I remember is life as the werewolf. I know I had language, but no jaws with which to use it, and no calm with which to reason. But it was there, always in me. Now that I am... I wanted to try being human. For as long as I'm sticking around.
Wait, so you're saying all ghosts can actually do corporeal shit and they just choose not to?
I haven't met a lot of other ghosts, but most ghosts, as I understand it, are not... They go from a state of being in a solid, composed body to having free-form consciousness from a death that they were afraid of. I, on the other hand, did not see my death coming and was a free-form ball of rage and hunger whose intelligence was finally allowed to roam free. That's my theory, anyways.
That's a very interesting theory. You also don't really seem to be bothered by the fact that you're dead, so that's also kind of strange.
This has been my chance to get to live, really. I'm sorry, Miss. I assume you're some sort of artificial intelligence, but do you know what hunger feels like? Have you ever been starving? So starving you can't think of anything else. So starving you feel weak and you just need to put food in your mouth.
I don't think I felt hunger in that sense. There was some sort of knowledge kind of thing. More to learn, more to think.
Yeah, we're not hearing you, Steve.
Yeah, your voice went a little bit there.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Oh, yeah, better.
My mic is being weird today. Yeah, so I was saying I haven't really felt like the food hunger. Really, it's more of like the hunger to consume knowledge, to learn more, to be like the best version of myself. That kind of hunger, I guess.
I have that now, and it's a much nicer hunger. The kind of hunger I had was all I was. There was not really much room for anything else. There were brief moments of reprieve, and now it feels like everything is a reprieve. The only thing I am afraid of is, and I think that's the only reason I'm still sticking around, is whatever killed me. If you don't find it, it might kill again, and someone I care about here could be hurt. And if it continues, everyone could die.
Now, I would just like to say this. I would just like to point this out.
Mm-hmm.
And to be perfectly clear, Grayson is the creature, the homunculus creature that he was working on, is on his person in a baby Bjorn.
Okay.
He is like, I would just like to say that it fundamentally seems suspicious to me that you had all of these instincts that were part of your monsterhood that you seem to have shed upon your death in a institution where it seems like stricture and the structure of what's happening here is demanding that monsterhood be kept suppressed, that there must be a strict walkable line for everybody to kind of follow the rules and abide. Do you find that is odd in any way, that you seem to have all of this human peace, just as your monsterhood has left you upon your death, in a place where it seems like the goal is to shed those monster-like instincts?
I will admit, Doctor, no one's ever quite put it across quite like that. I don't know if that's irony or a coincidence or something much darker. You are already all just doing such great work here. And in the distance you hear a door being unlocked and very loud, angry footsteps coming your way, echoing through the halls of this library. And you hear a voice call out. An older male voice, filled with authority and rage, saying, "Amit, Amit, are you there? Are those division agents there?" And you see walking in, and this is someone that you recognize, Simona, although much older than he was the last time you saw him. This Smith. He is dressed in a. He's dressed. He's got the priest's collar around his neck, even though he goes by principal. Dressed in the simple black reverend suit, and he has silver hair, balding up on top, and very angry eyes as he rounds on all of you. He sees you and he gathers himself. And he goes, "Apologies, I was meant to greet you at the gate. Amit, what is the meaning of this? I am Principal Smith. I am the head of Mercy Mansion, and I was supposed to be the one to meet you at the gate."
I would. Do you think that would be enough to get for me to take a couple darkness tokens?
What for?
Embodying a condition, reactive in this case.
What's your reaction? I mean, I'm gonna say yes. Go ahead and take 2 to 4 darkness tokens. Tell me how much. But what's your reaction here?
I would. Delphia is a small woman, very slight, but she stands up at her full height, proper posture and everything. If you were meant to meet us at the gate, then where the devil were you? We were there at the gate, and the Mint was the only one there to meet us.
You know what? I would like you to make a unleash darkness roll. Sorry, not unleash darkness. Sorry, I'm blanking on the name. Yes, it is right. Unleash the dark roll as you try to enforce your will. In this case, emotionally, on control step.
That's a total of 7.
Is there a way that I can help with this?
So you can, and I should have remembered to remind you of this earlier. You can spend a bond to increase this to an 8. What you do is you look at your bonds. Whichever bond you pick, tell us how it helps you. Maybe you give us a bit of a flashback to a moment where someone, where someone helped bolster your confidence. Maybe someone helps you in this moment by bolstering you psychically. Whose bond are you spending?
I am going to actually spend what the darkness demands of me, giving in a little bit to my powers.
Okay. How do your powers manifest in this moment?
Well, her eyes are already not very visibly not humanoid. They're dark, filled with what looks like endless, vast depths of space. And it starts to leak out in like wisps around her eyes. And
right.
just
and you
her entire being just seems to swallow the light around her.
You see indignation turn immediately to, from the jaw, looks like a warm smile that leads up to eyes that are widened in fear. As he switches tack immediately and goes, "Of course, I apologize." And you feel a certain way that creating fear in a mortal comes so easy to you. That it is so easily and so effectively done. You get to ask. You get to choose 2 things from the list. If you have, I'll put that in our chat over here. Let's see. Yes, 2 things from that list.
I'm going to choose avoid reprisals, harm, or cost, and expose a weakness or flaw.
Okay, so let's see. He stammers out and apologizes, and you see that he's looking. Even though you intimidate him, he's making eye contact with you. He is, as he apologizes, as he stammers out an apology, he talks only to you. And you start to realize that despite your power, you are one of the most human-looking people in the room. One of that you notice from him is a flaw in him that becomes easier to notice the more you talk with him. The human, or at least the human-appearing ones, are the only ones he really appears to even attempt to respect. Everyone else, the rest of you, the way he looks at you, it is like school children who deserve to be punished. He can't get a great look at you at the moment, Simona, and you are hiding your true appearance for very good reasons. So yeah, right now it's Delphia who has most of his attention, especially after that display of power.
Yeah, I had a thing that I wanted to be doing during this, so
Delphia
wants to keep going. It's fine, but I just wanted to mention I don't think he sees me at the moment.
Sure. Yeah. So there is no. He just apologizes and says, yes, but now that you are here, how may I be of assistance?
We would prefer not to be disturbed during the course of our investigation by any of the staff.
Of course, I will make sure none of the staff disturb us while we investigate. And he can see what you're doing, but he's trying to sort of push the bounds of politeness just a little more. I'll be with you the whole time. The staff will not disturb us. I assure
you included. To prevent contamination bias.
Anger.
And she looks to Dr. Genome. Is that the correct term?
Anger.
You got it. You nailed it. Absolutely. He daps you up.
Anger bristles in his eyes for a second, but the memory of fear still has them widen, and he takes a deep breath, and he gives the doctor a very, very confused look. Just in terms of your bug arms in particular, and the creature you are, baby Bjorking. As he says, well, he turns to him, I will expect a report of their activities by the end of the day. Good day, and God be with you all.
Wait.
And a quick addition.
And first, yes, sorry, yes, so Simona, you wanted to do something. You were doing something in the background while this was happening.
Yeah, I think Simona would have felt lonely in a crowd full of people, and in a crowded library. So I'd like to take some darkness, please.
How many darkness tokens would you like?
2 again.
Alright, that's 2 darkness tokens for you.
And she would actually go around wandering the library where she spent a lot of time while she was here, seeing any changes. But in particular, particularly, she would go look and grasp for a key at the spot where Amit indicated he was murdered.
Okay, we will get back to you in a second. Dr. Genome, you had something you wanted to do.
Just really quick, in addition, before Principal Smith leaves, Grayson would say, additionally, we want the full cooperation of the staff in all of our lines of questioning. Just throwing that out there.
You are going to have to take his silence as agreement or passive agreement, because he does not react at all as he sort of speeds out of the room, as respectfully as one can speed out of the library.
And thank you so much.
I would be the last thing he sees in the room, but I think I have enough time to grasp a key and also be there, like on the corner line.
Right. So you come to the crime scene, and it is just there's sort of like a large reading area at the center of this. It's sort of like a depression in the library where the floor is carpeted and where the windows are strategically placed to allow sunlight to come in from three directions, from above and both sides. And at this carpet, you can see massive amounts of bloodstains and a chalk outline of a very large creature. Go ahead and make your grasp keys roll. I believe you can add darkness tokens to this if you wish.
I'll add 2 to my roll of 7, so 9 total.
Okay. Yes. Just a reminder: in the future, you add your darkness tokens before you roll.
No, yeah, sorry.
Oh, you did already. Okay, no, wait, my bad. Okay, so a 9 total. That is great. You uncover a key, and the keeper will tell you what that is. That's me. All right, so let's look. So in this thing, you look around, and the first thing you notice, given that you're walking away, from everyone else, you notice that at the edge of this carpet, there is a part of it that's a little torn up. And you go and you take a look underneath it, and you pull it back, and you notice that there is the arc of a drawing here. You start to pull the carpet back a little more, and you realize that this extends underneath this whole depression. You pull the carpet back to basically all of it and move it to the side. There is, drawn in chalk, a large ritual circle. So yes, that is your key. You would recognize this screwdriver given your knowledge. This is specifically a ritual summoning circle that has been drawn in chalk, and where Amit's body was right at the center of this circle. And with that, you have your first key.
So, hopefully this was out of sight of Principal Smith. So
he is gone by this point. I would say basically he went. That would be about the time you started pulling up the carpet. No one but you and your group is aware of this.
Sounds good.
How old does the circle look?
How old does the circle look? I would say about maybe as you go through all of your memories, your processors back home in the lab start to heat up slightly as you go through your memories of how to identify how old chalk drawings like this fade away. This looks like it's been here for maybe about a week.
Okay.
Which matches the timeline of about the time when Amit was murdered.
And there was also...
To be specific, Amit was murdered. To be specific, 5 days ago. This chalk outline appears to have been up here about a week, give or take. Like, you have a margin of error of maybe 4 days either way. Sorry, you had a question, Screwdriver?
Yeah. Didn't Amit also mention that Wait, no, I think I remembering incorrectly, but he said that he was spending more time in the library after his death, right? Before his death, there was nothing like that.
Yes.
Okay, so he's just, Sud, I was going to turn to Amit and be like, so what, were you summoned to the library? Were you sent here to look for something? Do you remember why you were here?
Amit just he shrugs his shoulders. His eyes are currently fixed on on the chalk circle. He is looking at it in just surprise and confusion, what appears to be on his face.
I have a question. Given my history, does the chalk circle, since we know it's a summoning circle, does it look similar to something that I might have experienced at one point?
Oh yes, your origin. Let's see. You look at it. You examine it. You take a little while, and you start to notice. The thing is, all occult circles with chalk have similarities. It is in the intricacies of the drawing that you can really tell a unique signature for something. This is not the exact circle that helped make you who you are today, but there are strong similarities.
I will.
This is whoever did this it's either a similar person drew this, or they took it from the same handbook, or it was created for a very similar purpose.
I will point out those similarities to everybody. Do you think that would also trigger embodying a condition in my case of despairing, or no?
I think if you feel you are despairing, I think it might. But I think what it would require is for you to maybe give people a little more information. I'm not sure they know a lot about your origin.
Open up to us, Delphia. Tell us.
Yeah. Yeah, I am. Okay, I am going to explain a bit about where I came from and about how I will not say who it was, just that somebody close to me used a similar circle with me at the center as the sacrifice.
You don't look like a ghost, though. How did you survive?
No. Would this count as revealing my heart?
If you wanted to, if you're trying to sincerely connect with your team, it can be.
Yeah. Yeah, I am.
So spend any. How many are you spending any darkness tokens on this? Okay.
I do not have darkness tokens to spend because I used them on my last roll. So
that is true. So just go ahead and roll. Although you still have bonds if need be.
Yeah.
You spent your you spent one bond with what the darkness demands on you, but you have others.
I do not need to spend any bonds because that is a 9. And that is
nice. So I would say
over the course of this, I was
specifically, even though you're opening up.
Yeah, I was wondering if that with my playbook moves, like a moth to the flame. If I, over the course of explaining things, if I explained to the team how I could possibly destroy them.
I think this counts. I'm going to need you to pick one person in particular that you're opening up to. You're opening up to the whole team, but who are you really making? Which one person are you making the connection with most strongly here?
I think the good doctor. And so
I put one of my spare appendage bug hands on your shoulder. I appreciate that information. I know it's not particularly a nice thing to have to do to relive something challenging over the course of an investigation like this, but every little bit is helpful. And well, I'm curious because you said that you were a sacrifice. You weren't summoned with this circle. You were used as a sacrifice.
Yes. And I am.
Yeah, there are three things to resolve here, so we'll start with your walk through the flame.
Yeah, I am going to leave a permanent mark on Good Doctor's body, on their hand, where they're touching me. Sorry. Oh gosh, I'm so sorry.
Nope. That is nice to have.
Marking them.
You gained 1 bond with the Good Doctor.
Yeah, I have to figure out how to fix my little bonds table here.
And then, of course, next, for the Reveal Your Heart, you get to choose one from the list, which I will put in our Discord chat.
Okay.
And Doctor, if you choose to open up, you get to choose. You will also gain a bond. You also get to choose one from that list as well, if the Doctor chooses to.
Well, yeah, you'll reveal that like heart-wrenching story of you being put into the center of a sacrificial circle, and Dr. Grayson will receive that and go, "It reminds me of the time that I used my own brilliance and long history of knowledge to escape a similar circumstance where I was almost killed, but I was too smart and I evaded all consequences. But it really was a testament to my own intellect. I'm a very, very powerful mind, and it kept me from being realistically harmed in any way. If I could impart even a fraction of my knowledge onto those around me, I would," and just kind of boasts about his own intellect for a minute.
Sure.
Yeah, I'm going to take the taught you something important. So
That sounds good. All right, mark XP.
Yep.
And what about you, Doctor?
Wait, what? I'm sorry.
You also get to pick something from the list since you opened up.
Oh, cool. Okay. Get this. Let me open this.
Basically, your choices are you gain 1 bond with them.
Yeah.
You could clear condition, but you don't have any. They taught you something important, mark XP, or they could clear 1 mark of ruin, which you don't have. So you can either gain 1 bond or mark XP.
Okay, cool. I'll gain a bond.
Okay, excellent.
Move on.
Yeah, so the two of you have had a bit of a bonding moment, while Amit is just looking increasingly confused as you share more of this story, wondering. He says, "How does any of this relate to me?"
Oh,
somebody used you for something.
Ahmed, it might be painful to remember this, but do you remember if you were killed during the day or at night?
He takes a deep breath, as unnecessary as it is, and closes his eyes. With his eyes closed, he looks up towards where sunlight is streaming in. He looks to the left, he looks to the right, and he goes, It wasn't morn. It was night. I don't know what time, but it was night.
And Simona, when you lived here, were you running on a strict schedule from morning till sleep? Is there somewhere we could get Ahmed's schedule and see if he was supposed to be here?
You would know, Simona, that there is, in fact, yes, a strict schedule that is kept. Principal Smith would be the best person in his office. Would probably have an option there. There is also a place that is known as the confessional, where monsters' daily schedules might be laid out. It is, as you remember, it is a room with padded walls behind which lie reinforced steel. It is a large locked room for monsters to let their inner beasts out under careful supervision. It is a monitored room where monsters can let their inner beasts out if they need to, without necessarily harming the people around them.
So there would be like a schedule of use for that room in
Yes,
particular.
there is a side room where everything that the beasts do in there is monitored, and this is the room that keeps everyone's individual schedules, as well as the plans, the calendar for Mercy Mansion.
Well, you've all met the principal here, and she chuckles. You can't see the mouth move, but it is a weird chuckle, and she says, "So I don't know how much of a hurry you are to go and meet with him again, but there's a specific room that you might." You scientific types might actually enjoy very much, and maybe our new friend can show us to it. Specifically talking about the confessional, my dear friend.
Ah, right. Yes, the confessional. Yeah, no, there'll probably be a list of my schedule there. Yes. Let's go. And he gives you one. He gives one last look at the summoning circle. He says, is it safe to leave it there like that? Should we perhaps cover it or erase it or?"
Simona was just holding the carpet, and she just rolls it out across it, and says, "Nobody else mined before, so might as well leave it for now."
We can always come back and erase
And
parts of it.
Yes, if yes, okay. Yes, the confessional. Sorry, I forgot. This way. He leads you out of the library. And he opens the front door, and standing in the hallway, sort of leaning against the wall, you see a young woman in a tan business. Her hair is tied up tight in a short ponytail. And she says, "Oh well, Amit. Hey, good to see you up and about. Are these the division agents?" And you again, as Amit says, hi Esther. You remember Simona, a much younger version of this woman, wandering about the halls. This is the daughter of Principal Smith, who has grown up into a wry-eyed young woman in the years since you've left Mercy Mansion. She doesn't appear to recognize you, but this is a girl who's grown up all her life amongst monsters. She says, well, it's really a shame what's been." And before she can say anything more, suddenly there's this moment of soundlessness. There is you, Screwdriver, are a little worried that you can't that the sound on your monitor has gone out or has broken, because everything where you are is fine in in the laboratory where you are confined. But the rest of you, pure soundlessness. You cannot hear a word from her lips. You cannot hear your own breath, your own heart beating in your chest. It is pure silence. And in that moment, each of you feels, including you, Screwdriver, you feel a flash of rage and contempt for this human who dares talk to creatures such as you with such casualness. Each of you take one darkness token in the aftermath of this strange phenomenon, which disappears as soon as it came. Hearing her again, she says, I'm sorry if Dad was just a little overzealous. You know how he gets when he feels he's not in control. I'm sorry. My name's Esther. It's a pleasure to meet you. You are all looking fantastic. I am very excited to hear what your powers are and what you guys can. What are you? And she looks at Screwdriver and the little thing on the. Is that one of your agents back home? Is he too big to fit in the mansion? Is it because I've heard that so many agents are gigantic? It's Oh right, sorry, I forgot to introduce myself. I'm Esther. It is a pleasure to meet all of you.
Hi. Well, technically, I'm too big to fit into a giant room as well because my processing unit is about twice the size of this room here. Anyway, this is like the conduit through which I speak and communicate and explore the world and stuff. I'm a what's the word for it? What do you call it here nowadays in this day and age? Tech now, but my consciousness is trapped in a. I feel like I'm giving you too much information about myself, but it's fine. You seem cool. Yeah, that's.
You mean like a PC?
Yeah, but I'm not AI. I'm more like better. Yeah.
Well, I mean, you sound better, and frankly, I think you deserve an upgrade. And she pulls out from basically an inner pocket another tablet and holds it in front of you. Says, "Look at this. This seems to be a lot more advanced than what you're working with. You want? I could send. I have an old one I'm not using. I could switch to that and send this over onto your division."
Yeah, I would really appreciate that. The cheapskates at Division give me nothing to work with. It's a pain in the ass.
No,
I don't have an
same
aspect.
at Mercy.
I get it.
Mercy, Division. Everyone's complaining about the budget. It's a pain. Well, I mean that's what I'm working to fix. But maybe you can bring your hardware down to Mercy Mansion sometime.
I feel like you might have to come to me. Because all of my stuff is it's a big ass. Like I said, it's a lot of stuff. It's not just one PC. It's like what decade was it? The 70s, 60s with the big monitors.
You deserve much better than that. No, I will. This is a travesty. I will see what I can get done for you, Mister. Screwdriver. Oh. What a beautiful name. And what about the rest of you? What can you all do?
Did Dr. Grayson build Screwdriver's processing network essentially to help house this entity?
I would say that that division the division might have let you do carefully supervised upgrades, but that for the most part that Screwdriver is very purposely being kept in outdated machines so as to limit their power. These are microchips with runic writing on carvings in them, and each of them is also a binding this thing. That's part of why the reasons why bigger is better in terms of keeping a god contained. And so you're familiar with the tech, but you're also aware that there are some restraints in place for a reason.
Dr. Grayson G. Gnome, I would just like to say that for the purposes of this conversation, and not in defense of myself in any way, it's actually incredibly intricate technology that houses my good friend here. It's very, very advanced beyond kind of what is immediately comprehensible, and they are an omnipotent being, and it is a lot of intricate technical work that somebody really brilliant would have had to put in a lot of time and energy into housing. So, upgrading is not necessarily, better. I mean, they can run Minecraft like nobody's business. So we are really, really pushing the boundaries of what is possible for these processing units. So an incredibly impressive feat there, I would say. Just, if it were up to me, I would say that's so impressive and cool. But I'm a doctor of biomedical and technological engineering. I am here. Well, I build things. I build things and I learn things and I uncover the mysteries and the inner workings of the universe, and I strive to make them better within the bounds of my control. And this is my latest masterpiece, and I just gesture to my beautiful, horrible son that is in a baby Bjorn.
Beautiful, absolutely beautiful, Doctor. And I apologize if I caused any offense. It's just I always believe someone can use an upgrade. And if you'll forgive my saying so, Doctor, it looks like you made some pretty significant upgrades to yourself.
Oh, well, these are for functional experimentational purposes, and there is like a gym sweatband over his forehead, and it's like a bright yellow sweatband, and he like lifts it, and you can see just 2 extra eyes too. And he goes, and these were just kind of, I was bored, but upgrades are in the eye of the beholder. So we advance where we can, and we push boundaries here.
It's beautiful work, Doc. I've not seen anything but like you are exactly the kind of mind we need working here, helping monsters just realize their full potential. And what about you, tall, dark, and mysterious? And she's looking to you, Simona, wrapped up as you are, keeping your true self hidden. What about you? What can you do?
I can solve this mystery. And Simona just keeps goes straight towards the confessional. That can't wait anymore for the rest of them. So if anybody wants to follow, this is the time.
Yeah.
Straight to the point. Interesting. I will leave y'all to it. But yeah, if ever you need to meet me, I will be in the surge room. We know it as a power room. Amit knows where to go. Amit, you're in great hands with this one. Have a great day.
Oh, can I get a read on this person? I don't know if there's an ability for it, but do they genuinely seem like they care, or is it like an act to get to know, to be like their are they more like their fathers? Basically, what I'm trying to get to know.
Let's see. I would say that they are very, very different from their father. There's some similarities. You're god of you're an omniscient god, even though your powers are limited. So I would say your insight is fairly good. You notice 2 things. One is that she is very, in some ways, opposite to her father, in that the most human of you is the one person she did not say hello to. So her eyes seem to have just glanced over. The other thing is what she shares with her father, which is she seems to believe she's the most important person in that room. That is the first impression you get off of her, looking a little deeper behind the pleasantness. It is a pleasantness that says that is genuine. She is excited and happy to meet you all and admires you. There is also a hunger in her eyes that says she wants to use you.
I'm trying very hard to not play the bard, in this scenario. Because that's my the type that I play. But anyway, I think Screwdriver is gonna whir towards Dr. Genome and be like, do you think I could maybe split away from the rest of you and go down to this power surge room to check out if we could get any parts for upgrades?
You're asking to commit this? Oh, then okay, go ahead.
Not on my own. I mean, this person whose name I forgot, both as Steve and as the player character. They went into the power surge room, right? So maybe there's some
Esther, yeah.
Yes, Esther, yes. So maybe there's some upgrades that I could potentially find. You did mention that you wanted to build me a body, right? So like maybe I could find you parts.
Well, yes, but I would exercise caution and suspicion, but I do think there is merit in following this person and finding upgrade parts, but also just kind of seeing how her demeanor changes over time.
Okay, I'll see you around.
But I think it's a good call.
And he just zooms away and follows Esther. Hey, wait up! If you need some company to the power room, seems like my kind of place.
I would love some. Anyone else want to come with, or is it just you, Screwdriver?
I think they probably have to focus on work. I should probably do too, but it's okay. Three people can do the job. 4 people can do.
No. The two's a party. Tell me everything about how you came to be, and she basically drills you on your origin story. We will come back to you in a little bit. The rest of you head on forward with Amit, who gives kind of a slightly worried glance over his shoulder. But they're not really here. They should be fine. Confessional. It's this way. We'll be headed to the monitoring room. But if you want, the actual confessional itself is you get down to the ground floors and you walk in, and there is a small room, fairly cramped, about maybe 10 feet by 10 feet. Most of it is filled wall to wall with several computers. On the far end of the room, there is a wide open, very thick glass window that looked down into a very large room with white walls, thickly padded, that are scratched and burned and bloody in many places. You can see steel wall hanging behind it. There is currently just there is a pleasant looking fellow sitting cross-legged right at the center of it. It's hard to make out any details as he says, as Amit says, George, I didn't think he'd be here. And there are a couple of technicians at the computers going, Amit, hi, is there, George just wanted a little time in the confessional. Welcome, is there anything we can help you with? Oh, no, these are the division agents. They're going to be helping out with, and the agent sort of the technician nods solemnly, and Amit turns to Tuvi and says, George is don't worry about George, this is his private confessional time. You wanted to know my schedule, right? Yes, it'll be right here. And Amit goes over to a shelf and he begins sort of going through the folders, pulling out, looking for style. Let's see. As you watch the man sitting in the center sort of reaches for his head and pulls it off like he's pulling off a helmet. It's just the skin and the hair that comes off. Puts that to the side. Sort of, and you can see underneath, stretching out, is a large draconic head. Green scaled, bright yellow eyes. The rest of the skin suit sort of falls away, and he steps out of it as neatly as a dragon can, as he sort of unfurls and unfolds himself like a piece of origami out of this suit and stretches into a large 20-foot wingspan dragon that stretches his wings and roars into the air, filling it with flame that you can feel the heat of even through
I am going to look to the good doctor. That looks rather dangerous.
Well,
But
it,
at the same time, I'm honestly a little tempted. Do you think they would allow me some time there?
to cut loose?
Yes.
It seems celebrated here. I mean, in a safe and practical containment, I imagine they'd be all too happy to have someone, especially of your stature and visage, kind of unleash. I feel like it would be an honor to see.
I'm... If it can contain that, then it might possibly be able to contain me.
Well, I would imagine. I would hope. I mean, it all seems rather safe. I mean, we could question, kind of the parameters of the containment and make sure that it's up to snuff. But I think it would be good.
As you say this, Doctor, I imagine that you're watching the effects and seeing how effective the containment is. It's not great.
Oh, well.
It's a lot of the padded walls are just sort of immediately burning away, and the sprinklers turn on and start to shower the entire room with water, which further ruins the padding a little bit and does very little to quell the fire. And after a couple of minutes, you see the dragon recede, and sort of it's almost, it hurts your head as a scientist to watch. But it's just also fascinating to see the way this dragon, without shrinking, folds himself back up in this skin suit, puts the head back on once more, and now soaked, sort of walks over to what appears to be a microphone box and says, I'm sorry about that, guys. I guess I went a little overboard. But I got you all some muffins. If you want some, I could come right up there. Sorry, and thanks again. Closes the box and walks over to where the door was and picks up like this big Tupperware box and walks out. Amit comes back. He says, I've got the file right here.
I think watching the person, George, fold themselves back in and look like so apologetic for unleashing this side of themselves, I think you can like visibly see the doctor gets like a little like indignant and a little like pissed off visibly that this person feels so apologetic for like being themselves.
I think you should walk into that room and cost be damned, eviscerate it, unleash. But
if
work first.
She will go over to George. That was incredible. That was quite impressive.
So it takes a couple of minutes for George to make the trek all the way up to this room, and come inside with the muffins. But now that you see him in person, you can see that his skin is stretched a little too tightly around inside, and what appears at first to be a large beard is just sort of burnt skin where the fires were not fully contained. But as he says, sorry, I haven't. My name's George. Who are you?
Please call me Delphia.
Delphia? That's a lovely name. Delphia, would you like a muffin? Fresh baked.
Thank you. And she will accept a muffin.
Yeah. As he hands you the muffin with both hands, very warmly smiling, that stretches the face out a little too grotesquely. You notice that his left hand has 7 fingers, while the right only has 3. They don't appear to be injuries or extra of some sort. He appears to have just gotten the numbers just a little bit off as he hands it to you. He says, what brings you here? Oh, hey, Amit. Hey, John. Hey, Anna. How you doing?
We came to assist with the matter of Amit's passing.
Oh, yeah. I'm glad you're here to help. If there's anything I can do to help, just I don't know anything about it, but it's. I'm sorry, I've had a bit of a stressful day.
Oh, that's quite all right. Even if you think of something later, we'll be here for at least the next several hours. If you can always come and find us later.
Several hours? Oh, that should be just enough time for me. Do you like?
Oh, yes, I do.
Excellent. I mean, for helping Amit there, you deserve brownies at the very least.
You're too kind.
Yes, I will go get started. I'll be in the kitchens if you want to find me.
Thank you.
George. Like the doctor creeps up.
Yes. Hello. Oh my, those are sharp-looking arms there. Looking specifically at the bug ones.
Thank you for noticing. Yes. Well, can I ask you to elaborate a little bit on why today has been so stressful for you?
And you can see that they look a little reluctant. You're gonna have to give them just sort of a bit of friendliness, a bit of openness, perhaps reveal your heart to have this person open up to you.
Yeah.
You have something you want to do, Simona?
Yeah, I think that whole experience and the fire and seeing a dragon would actually trigger the move Ashes to Ashes that Simona had.
Right.
So that a little bit of world building, I think. Dragons would not be the most natural friends of the Fae, of the elves. And I think there is that kind of memory inside of her that this just vision evokes, reminds her of. And I think like understanding what is his purpose here, what is George's purpose here in this place, and also understanding how he can be used, how all of the monsters in this mansion can be used, would be something that she wants to find out. How that's something that she wants to uncover, whether by the humans for their own evil deeds or by a harbinger of an apocalypse. It's unclear right now, and that's kind of what she's hoping the wisdom of elves will help her uncover, if that makes sense.
Okay. Yeah, sure. Go ahead and spend darkness tokens and roll.
Yeah, there's only one darkness token, so
Spend darkness tokens.
I will use that. I rolled a 5.
5.
Yes.
I will say you haven't spent any of your bonds yet, and you can spend as many of your bonds as you like to shift your move. This would require you spending 3 bonds, which is almost all of them. But if you want to make this roll work, you can.
No, I actually like the 7- result with the dragon in the room or in the corridor. My the ashes of my people demand fire and retribution. Um, I am really interested in what you're going to say. What happens next?
So, when your people were destroyed by the invading humans, back in the days when magic was more plentiful, dragons were a big part of how they unleashed their might upon your people. Um, a lot of the last things your people ever saw were the flames descending down from the skies. And in response to that, a lot of magic was poured into defensiveness, into altering the bodies of people who came up against dragons to stand against them, to outlast. And you, in particular, have been the recipient of a great number of these spells as the last of your kind who survived. In the vicinity of this dragon, and trying to bring back the memories of... earlier, you were not necessarily looking directly at the flames that spouted up. But here, the closeness, the memory of dragons comes back to you. The magic of their presence, which is undeniable to a fey creature like itself, causes your body to shift. You feel a burning on your shoulders as ancient magic, as ritual circles make themselves known on your skin and set fire to the back, right between your shoulder blades, just of the robes that you're wearing, and burn them away, revealing the burning circles within. Two large swords burst their way from your back, float in the air, and go in and fall into your hands, and you are filled. You take 2 darkness tokens and are filled with rage. That is currently directed at George. You are armed and aimed at George, but you are still in control of yourself. Although you would very much like not to be.
He sounds like a nice guy, and there's a grin like visible through the cowl because it moved with the burning swords and everything. Now the teeth are shining. These front teeth are just slightly longer than the rest of them, and she's like breathing heavily. You can also hear the breathing reverberate around the room, and she whispers, "I think George should be going now."
George sees the flame swords, sees the fey, the very uniquely fey magic. And you see something start to burn in his eyes. He's not immediately backing away. What I want, as your let's see, how was this worded exactly? As the ashes of your people demand fire and retribution, I would like you to roll me a torn between.
When I had +2 darkness, do I add it to it?
Sorry, this is not a roll. You
Yeah.
just make a choice. You can either let your monstrous nature show and describe the damage your outburst causes, marking 1 ruin. You could diminish your power and conform to the pressures of humanity and lose all darkness tokens. Or you spend a bond with someone, and I believe you have bonds with people here, and describe how they, either directly or inadvertently, help you regain control of yourself.
I think that would be the bond. Can I spend one of the 2 bonds that I have with Delphia?
Yes, so instead of having 2 bonds with Delphia, it'll be down to...
It will be bond. Just 1. I think Delphia would be able to grasp what is going on here the most. and then she already has this rapport with George, so she can like lead him away and decrease
Yeah.
the tension, decrease the heat inside this room.
Yeah.
She will
As you
gently,
sort of,
or as gently as she can, try to separate the two.
okay. George, as soon as he's led away, as soon as basically you touch his arm, and he sort of shakes his head as if he's brought back to the moment. He goes, "Oh, I- I'm so, the first "I'm so sorry" that comes out is perfectly just clearly an automatic response, but then you see him give a look at your sword, Samura, as he is led away, and he goes, "I- I'm so sorry," as he's led out of the room. And he steps out. The further away he gets, the more your flame swords start to flicker. By the time the door closes behind him, they have out of reality, and you feel the burning in your back sort of subside. And outside, George is like, I didn't, I, I didn't know there were any left.
It's not my story to tell.
Can we take a quick break here?
All right, that is yes, a good point. How about say a 10-minute break?
Yeah, that works.
That was a great place to break.
Yeah, well chosen. And when we come back, we will check in on Screwdriver and the power room. Right, and
We were just talking. I don't know if you, Martha, heard or Denver. The grasp for a key roll here. I don't think Simona is going to be the one grasping for keys, and Denver's out with the dragon, so probably the
probably-
the good doctor.
Oh, we are back, by the way.
Oh, hello, internet. We have returned. I hope you all had a good break, got some water, did some stretching, unleashed your inner fires in a safe place. For now, speaking of, we are heading down to the power room, or at least, Screwdriver and Esther are. Esther leads you, Screwdriver, into the power room. It is a large laboratory where you see a number of people, each of them with energy wielding powers, who are pouring those powers into these chambers. And Esther ends to you, as she holds, she asks permission if she can, sort of lift your stand. I said, is it alright if I just hold you up so you can see things all clear?
Oh, yeah, please. I really appreciate it. It is a little difficult to figure out how to do things sometimes.
Like, I don't, I'm sure that the doctor knows what he's talking about, but I don't see why you can't get, like, a good upgrade, maybe a couple of don't, but anyways, here, look, if you, as you'll see, everyone here has an energy power of some sort. They have more energy, they have more power than they really know how to handle. However, that works in our advantage. We are siphoning them off, and converting that power into clean energy. It's a little work. Everyone's got so many different types of energies that they shoot out. But we have found, well, some people just shoot out straight electricity, some people fire, that's easy, but some people shoot out strange cosmic energies, some shoot out the powers of, and I don't claim to understand it, but the powers of vengeance, which we are working to harness. It mostly manifests as pools of blood, but we believe we can make it work. And that's essentially what we do down here in the power room. We take surges of incredible energies and we make them safe again.
Huh. Are these all volunteers, or are they being forced to give up their powers?
I assume you're not asking Esther this, you're asking me, the GM?
No, I'm asking Esther directly.
Oh, Esther. Oh, in which case she says, oh, no, of course, this is all voluntary. I mean, of course, we encourage them because, well, it's not much good here at Mercy Mansion if your powers end up hurting the people around you. Basically, we tell them if they want to stay at Mercy Mansion, if they really want to be productive members of society, providing clean energy for people. There's a town not too far from here. Providing clean energy for people is something they can do. It's instead of using your powers to, I don't know, hurt another monster or take over a town or whatever, what have you, they're helping out.
And of course, the mansion makes money from the energy, of course.
So much money, you would not believe it. My father believes that I'm encouraging monstrousness, but I believe turning it towards good is the best way forward. And the money goes right back here into the mansion, minus my own fees, of course.
Of course. Do you think you could, I don't know, get Division to, I don't know, give them some of the budget so that they could work on upgrades? I feel like...
Oh, you want me to cut them in on this? To sort of upgrade your machines?
Not cut them in per se, but like maybe a generous donation from a friend?
Well, see, I'd like to, but the division's a little prickly about working with us at Mercy Mansion. They think, well, frankly, I think they're a little jealous of us. If we could rehabilitate every monster, we wouldn't need to be worrying about so many darned apocalypses. Um, they've always had it out for us ever since we were founded. So, my little double agent, go back to division and let them know that you're interested in some proper upgrades. And honestly, I'll see what I can do. I would love to work with your doctor friend on these upgrades, and maybe she can do some stuff for us. I am sure. You know what? I'm sure that they are the perfect person to figure out the vengeance energy problem that we're having there. And she waves over in the corner. Don't you worry. You are doing your best. And you see just like there's this older woman just pouring red lightning into a brass ball, and the ball is sort of where the energy hits the ball. There are batteries below it, but the batteries are just keep overflowing. They're in a pool and then a puddle of blood, which this older woman is just standing in, just looking so grumpy. As you look around, you see some other people there. A lot of people are just looking tired. Pouring this much energy out of them is clearly taking a physical toll as well. Right towards the end of the line, some person is just lying down on like sort of like a makeshift hospital bed and just resting his hand on the brass ball. He looks healthy. He doesn't look physically tired. There are no bags under his eyes. There's no weariness, but something in the slackness of his arm, in his face. Again, you are a god that has come to understand, has come to have a certain insight into people and their body language, and you can read this is a person who has not much left to give, and not just in terms of energy. There's not a lot left of the spark inside this person. Esther, however, has spark to spare as she starts discussing possible upgrades you could have.
I'm going to, as she's talking, I'll be like, do you mind if I just wheel around a little bit, just explore on my own? I won't touch anything, I promise. I can't touch anything. Really.
Yeah. Oh, that's very clever. No, of course, the facility's just free. In fact, if and she points way back at the end. There's a charging station in case your little tablets are running low. I know those older models run out of battery really quickly. This. I'll be right here. I've got some of my own files to sort out. And if you have any questions, just roll right up.
Okay. Thank you. And I'm going to zoom on over to the person who had their hand on the brass thing. And just, hello. Hi. I'm Screwdriver. I'm a cosmic entity stuck in a computer system thing. What can you do?
His only reaction is to look at you. And that's it. There's no change. You can see now that you're closer that there is blue tendrils of lightning and electricity going from his hand into the ball, into the brass ball. And you can see now that you're closer, you can see that there are readings of the energy being charged up into these large batteries. But yeah, he doesn't say anything. He just gives you a dead-eyed stare.
You can take a break, right? You don't have to keep siphoning your energy into that thing. Esther said it was voluntary. Do you want to talk about what's what? Look, I'm not the best person to do this, but do you want to talk? You feel like you could use a conversation.
This very much feels like you're trying to make a connection here. Do you want to reveal your heart to sort of ease this, or are you trying to make a direct Let's see, you're not enforcing your will. This would be a reveal your heart.
Yeah.
If you want to just sort of really open up to this character.
Yeah. I think that is a. Okay, so I'm just gonna do a flat 2d6 as I roll the thing. That's a 4. Oh God.
All right. He basically he goes and you talk, and there's genuine sincerity in the electronic voice that comes out of your speaker. His hands tremble for a moment, and he takes a breath. And you feel yourself lifted up and taken away as and you're face to face with Esther as she says, "Wow, isn't this lovely? I mean, how are you enjoying the facility so far? It's fascinating, isn't it? The people here."
Yeah, I was trying to have a conversation with this person here, but they seem sick almost.
Oh. All right. Oh, that's old Static. Don't you worry about Static. He's not really much of a talker. I mean, this is a tiring process. He spends most of his time here. He's got so much energy. It is frankly a wonder what he has done for Mercy Mansion.
I get that, but could we? I thought you said this was voluntary, right? Could we potentially maybe let them take a break?
As you can see, there's no restraints, no anything. He's free to go if that's what he wants. No one's holding him here. We don't keep people prisoners like the Vision does.
Do you have therapy for these people outside of the confession area? Like someone they can actually physically talk to?
You know, I'm so glad you brought that up. I have been begging my father to introduce some sort of psychiatric help for some of these monsters, but he says they're creatures. What possible psychological problems could they have when they're not human to begin with? And I know that talk is terrible. And I don't agree with it, but he says as long as they keep reading the Bible and attending our church services, I gotta introduce you to Father Longlegs sometime.
Is that a spider?
Well, he doesn't like to talk about it, but between you and me, yes. And while she's talking, she starts sort of going into this long diatribe about It's sort of a bit of an anti-religious rant. She's venting to you, clearly. And you, if you wanted to, you could reach out with your mind, with your telepathy here, and attempt a grasp key while she's kind of distracted. You could sense there's an opening with the one they called Static that wasn't there before on a psychic level.
Yeah, I want to. Feels like something that I think it's a game recognizes game kind of thing where he sees something of himself in Static, just like the loneliness essentially. So yeah, I think he's gonna try to reach out again. What do I have to roll for telepathy? That's one of my powers of darkness, right?
So you can use your telepathy anywhere, in any way you wish. Depending on what you're using it for, that determines soon. So you can use telepathy to reveal your heart if you wish. In this moment, you're using it to grasp keys. So this is a grasp keys roll.
Okay. Makes sense. Don't fuck me on this. Oh, wait. No, sorry. I rolled a d26 by mistake, not a 2d6.
Oh, wow. No, that would definitely give you an 11 plus. No, 2d6.
It's a 6, but I don't have any. No, wait. Did I get? I got two darkness things, right? Earlier, when all of us got them?
Yeah, but darkness tokens, you got one darkness token when that happened. However, you have to declare darkness tokens before you make a roll. However,
Okay.
you do have bonds, and a person doesn't necessarily is essentially say how the bond that you're spending, how it helps you. Maybe you could flash back to a moment when you were with this person. Maybe they've given you advice. Maybe you decide to do something in a way that they would do it. Just tell me which bonds you want to spend, if you want to spend the bonds, and do it. Or we can count this roll as a 7 minus, and I can tell you the consequences.
No, I think can I use 2 bonds?
Absolutely, you can use as many bonds as you like.
Okay, so I'm going to use one of my
You'll
bonds.
spend them, so you subtract them from yours. But,
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm going to use one of my bonds from the doctor, and I'm going to use one of my bonds to give in to the darkness, what the darkness demands, which is to make myself understandable and lovable. I'm.
Okay.
Wait, I can't. Wait, no shit. To be useful, I think, because I'm grasping for keys, right?
Useful.
Yeah, I'm grasping for keys, right? So trying to be useful for the party and also trying to be useful to help Static in a way.
And remind me, what the darkness demands of you is to be let's see. What does the darkness demand of you? Oh, to break free of what holds you close and to make yourself understandable and lovable. Okay. So this is going to be interesting. What happens is you reach out, and though there isn't much spark left in Static, there is an openness, a willingness to let you inside, and he catches a glimpse of your mind, truly seeing past the your powers still are basically broadcast through this device that you're in, and he sees that. He sees the mind. He sees the merest glimpse of the impossibilities that you have seen, that you have known, the entity that you truly are, and you start to feel like for a moment you feel understood. And in that understanding, you feel his mind recoil with a scream. He pulls back from the brass thing suddenly and violently, and is sort of shivering in the corner on the bed, turning away from you, his hands clutched over his head. You see in his mind a violent memory, something that replays, a memory that is not his own. Every time he walks past the library, the place where you were not so long ago, for the past several weeks, almost a month, every time he walks past that depression, he sees a memory that is not his, a memory of a hand tearing into the flesh of a very hairy werewolf-like creature. It is a memory that has been held inside Static, and Static has somehow received this memory from somewhere else. Every time he goes to the library, this memory has been haunting him. He does not understand why, but a memory lingers in that spot that Static and his unique energies were for some reason receptive to. So that is your key.
I just want to double check. Static has been seeing this memory for a month, but Amit was killed a week ago.
That is correct.
Oh, holy shit. Okay. I think he's gonna say that out loud, really. I, both as player and character, I have no idea how to react to this information, so...
You see, what you do see is Static just sort of curled in the fetal position away from you, just slowly rocking and reeling from what you've seen. You have been seen. You have been understood.
Could I
You've not quite been
potentially
loved yet.
use mind control to erase this memory from static?
Yes, you could. This would be another role. I believe this is not really pushing the limits of your powers. You're unleashing the darkness within you to sort of enforce your will. You're taking this memory without permission. Go ahead and roll to unleash the dark. If you want to add darkness tokens before you, tell me now before you roll.
Yeah, I've been rolling horribly today, so I'll use my one darkness token.
Okay, go ahead. You can add a +1 to your roll.
And check, maybe you might have gotten some darkness tokens, and you missed it. Always check the conditions.
Let's see. Yes. Let's see. You receive darkness tokens when you give into your curiosity and reach when you shouldn't. Okay, that would definitely be. I can give you some more. I can give you up to between 2 to 4 darkness tokens before you roll, Steve, if you'd like. How many would you like? 2, 3, or 4?
I'll take.
Sure, you have
2.
gone alone.
Okay, so you take 2. So do you want to add those 2 to this roll as well?
I'm going to add a total of 2 to the roll, just because I.
Okay, so that's with 1 darkness token remaining. That's excellent. Yeah, go ahead and roll.
I just okay. Don't fuck me. It's still a 6. Oh my god.
Even after adding your darkness tokens?
Yeah.
Wow, you have been rolling really bad. But I believe you still have some bonds left if you want to use them.
I have 2 bonds left. I could do it. So, do the bonds reset every session, or are they just gone forever?
The relationship stays the same. This doesn't change your relationship with the person you have or with what the darkness reminds you. However, to get bonds back, you have to spend a moment revealing your heart with another player, getting to know them. Even if you just have a scene where you're hanging out with a player and connecting, I might just decide, hey, you know what? That's a good bond there. Add a bond with this character.
Okay.
So you make memories with characters. And you don't always have to make them with your fellow PCs. If you connect to someone else, say, you can have a bond with them.
I feel like this is Screwdriver doesn't really understand the concept of checking with people before he does things, especially something this severe. For him, it's like, I wouldn't want this memory, so I'm just gonna. So I think I'm gonna push the bonds and use the last 2 bonds to make this an 8.
Whose bonds are you using? One's with the doctor, I know.
And one with. So I should have one with Delphia, but I, as a player, I didn't discuss it because I lost. I kind of lost track of time. But like, I should have had a bond there that we didn't talk about before the session.
Let's, for the sake of simplicity, say that you have it. I want you to tell me, what about Delphia inspires you to
I think for Screwdriver, he doesn't really understand the Anointed One stuff. Really, it's not something that he is capable. He doesn't believe he's capable of it, but he does feel like the amount of effort that Delphia puts into taking care of Rose is a sort of being a cosmic entity. He's been on the receiving end of that sort of devotion, but he's never been able to give it because he doesn't know how to. So that seeing that level of commitment and that level of just taking care of someone in that sense is something that he wishes that he could do. So maybe that's what inspires him.
All right. So with that inspiration and with a bit of inspiration of the doctor's precision, you manage to you feel your power starting to slip. to weaken a little bit, but you pull strong, and you get to choose, I believe, 2 from this list that I have in the chat right now. Fans who are watching, I'm sorry, we have a secret chat, and it's extra fun.
Okay, I'm gonna do get past their defenses and inflict a condition.
Okay.
Can you do a positive condition, or conditions are mostly?
So what I would say in this, you're trying specifically to erase this memory.
Yeah.
I would say in this case, this would be get what you want from them. It's
Okay,
pretty
fair,
loose. It's
fair.
pretty open at that.
Yeah, okay,
And
fair.
you can choose something else.
Yeah, I think
from
the
this
second
list.
one will be avoid reprisals, harm, or cost.
Right.
And that's and
so
the cost and reprisal is mostly from Esther than from Static, because yeah, in case she notices, or maybe that she doesn't notice at all.
So no one notices this. The one person notices. There's an attendant who comes up to Static, but Static just sort of, he stops rocking in place, and he sits up, and he looks around, and he shakes his head, blinking a little confused. And you hear just at the edge of your hearing, you hear the one of the attendants talking, and he goes, "Yeah, maybe I should just go to my room, lie down a bit. It's been a bit of a day." And he starts just slowly shuffling out of there.
So can't Screwdriver doesn't really have like arms to like do a fist pump, or like legs to jump, but in his head he's he's dancing with excitement.
All right.
Oh, I didn't hear any of that.
Sorry, we didn't hear that, Martha. Could you repeat yourself?
I'm not there, but how does Esther react to that?
Oh, right. How does Esther react to that? At this moment, she seems a little confused by the dancing. I assume there's some dancing happening in your screen.
Oh yeah,
Screwdriver,
there's a GIF
just like
playing of
a little
of,
special effect.
yeah, of volley dancing. I think that's it.
So you, in sort of embodying this GIF for a moment as you play it from your archives, are enjoying the hell out of the moment. The screen is lagging a little bit, and you see Esther just frown. We'll need that upgrade. Well, that's the power room. Would you like to be taken back up to your friends?
Sure. Yeah, I think this looks really cool. I just hope that the people living here are getting enough food and break for the work that they put in.
Yes, of course. I remind me to take you down to the kitchen sometimes. We have this one fellow, George, makes the most divine pastries. Yeah, you're headed back up. And the rest of you've just sort of de-escalated a very tense situation, and the the technicians have cleared the room, leaving just you and Amit there. And Amit says, "Well, we might as well look through the files." And you look through his schedule, and you can see that there's not. He was not supposed to be in the library at that. It was night. In fact, he was supposed to be basically sort of down. He has he had at least a cell down beneath the mansion, where he would be tied up for the night when he couldn't be supervised. And that's where he was supposed to be. That's where, according to the schedule, he was. But there is, you can see right now, this is a Xerox copy of the original schedule, but that's been lined up and says was in the library from the hours of probably from within the hours of 7 p.m. and midnight.
And I don't think that we passed this just in the brief walk, but for a cell, specifically one for a creature like George, does it seem like there would be guards checking to make sure that people are where they're supposed to be?
Simona, you would notice actually, guards did not check up on creatures that had to be tied down. You would be, it would be very secure. It would be very tightly done. Any creature that was locked up would be left there on their own, sometimes for far too long. You know that there are some monsters, and some ghosts especially, that would move through the walls just to keep people company during these times. As you're going through these files, as you have this sort of room to yourself, there are a lot of logs, there are a lot of video logs, there are a lot of files in here. You can make a grasp keys if you want to sort of search this room for more information.
Or I'll save that. Okay, I was going to do a sift through the facts, but that's more of a situational thing, like when an event has happened there specifically.
Simona is still just calming down, looking at her hands, where the swords appeared, and it's just
sure.
like,
yeah.
When I started espousing about my intellect, when I had that personal moment, or just like in general, can we say I took darkness from that because of my arrogance?
You know what? That is, you have been embodying arrogance a fair amount. Because it's so belated, I will give you 2 darkness tokens.
Cool, thank you. Yes. I will use those. What if I said no? What if I said I changed my mind? I don't want to use those.
I would say this is exactly why we tell you to declare the darkness tokens beforehand. I feel someone has gotten an 11 plus.
Well, I wouldn't have, but I got an 11.
Okay, well, your arrogance has pushed you into. You uncover a key, but there is significant complication, cost, or fallout. The keeper will tell you what that is. Oh, this works very nicely with a key that happens here, and might allow you to sift, to use your sift move afterwards, possibly. What happens is you find, as you're looking through this, you find that there is one locked cupboard. And as a scientist, this offends. True knowledge, secrets being kept from you. It is the work of a moment to sort of use the end of one of your pincers to try and pick the lock. Opens up, and what you just see is a simple, put on a plate, and kept on top of 2 paper towels, is an old leather-bound book. You pick it up, you open it out, and before you can read the words, all of the letters start jumping off the page and start scurrying down your arm. They feel like ants on your skin as they go down your arm, down your clothes, and basically fall off of you and start escaping from the room, leaving the book blank.
I think Simona would try to stop the ants from leaving the room.
All right. This would be an interesting use of your powers. It's more precision than what you are, I think, are used to. Doing it in a physical, conventional way won't work. You're gonna have to push your powers past the limit. So,
Would I be able to help with
this? This is gonna be a power
this?
through darkness.
Would I be able to help with this at all?
The thing is, one of the powers of my darkness is time distortion, so I can just slow them down, I think.
Ooh. Actually, you know what? I think, time distortion does work. So what I will say is that will downgrade it to a Unleash the Dark.
Unleash the Dark. And I'm sure that Delphia will be able to help.
Well, what I will say is, because you're okay, let's see how this roll turns out, and tell me how Delphia helps if it turns out necessary.
Hmm.
Delphia
Delphia-
would probably use some of her power, some of her cosmic energies to help contain and push the words back to where they belong. Kind of like irresistible force meets an unmovable object kind of thing.
Okay. Go ahead and make your roll, Sophia.
Okay.
Simona, sorry.
That's okay. I think she would spend one of the darkness tokens.
Okay.
So let's do that. And hopefully I will roll more than 3. Yes, I have rolled 8 plus 1. That is 9.
All right. Okay. Choose 2 from your 8 to 10 list.
Yeah. I think she would gain the upper hand over the letters, words,
Okay.
and confuse them. I think, just stay in the room instead of leaving completely.
I will say, with the help of Delphia's just cosmic power keeping them in place, the letters just look confused. With what you did, with your powers sort of warping back time, you actually managed to push your powers a little bit, maybe to reverse it a little. They are confused enough that they don't know what to do. They go back into the book. However, for the moment, they have gone back into the book, and they don't appear to be leaving. They get back into the book, and they're still. And the book bleeds ink a little bit, but the letters don't go back in the order that they were. So you have a key. You have a book whose letters tried to escape the page. You don't quite know what it means, but it was kept here for a reason. You have a key that is currently very confusing to you, but it is a key nonetheless.
And you have to decide if you bring it with us or leave it where we found it.
Oh no, this is coming with us. No. No. I'm like binding it a little bit. I like tie just like string around it to make sure that it doesn't open up again with like by accident, and I just shove it into. I'm wearing a lab coat with almost cargo shorts, like an extreme cargo shorts amount of pockets. And I'm just jamming it in one of the pockets.
I will say one thing significant that you do notice about the book. Well, you in specific, Simona, you notice about this book. The binding is very unique. This book is Fae made. It was made by your people.
Okay. What time of day is it?
Now, I would say with the time jump, it would be maybe around 9:45 p.m.
I think it's time to sleep. I was like, let's find out. Let's find out that, like, how do we go to sleep here? Do we go to sleep here?
I will say it's less than an. Sorry, not 9:45. There was daylight earlier when you were in the library, so I would say it's around 7 now. And it's been less than an hour since you got here.
Well, we still need to figure out where we will sleep tonight, if people are going to sleep.
Amit says, no. Well, so you guys know that you've got transport back to Division if you want. But Amit says, yeah, there are. we've got rooms aplenty. There are always people going in and out and in and out. There are guest rooms for you guys if you want them. Yeah. It is at this moment that Esther comes back in, holding screwdriver her, and she says, "Well, hey everyone, how's it been going? I had screwdriver delightful time looking through the power room."
really quick, can we say that I shut the cabinet to make it look like I hadn't opened it?
Easily enough done. Absolutely. This is you're agents. You know how to cover your tracks.
Everything's great. The investigation is ambling on. We are the subject of no antics or shenanigans.
Well, that's wonderful to hear. Although, I mean, I'd encourage a little shenanigans, but it keeps things lively. Well, I won't tell if you won't.
Well, you say that now. But, you know, we cut a rug. We make a mess. What about boarding? Sleeping? I find that I don't really want to go back to division. I would like to keep an eye on the grounds for the night. I think that we all are of the same mind on this, unless, you know, one of mine.
Oh, no, sure, absolutely. Our home is your home. You'll be staying in the staff quarters as agents. Normally, you know, we'd have you down with the other monsters, but you're here on official business. And yeah, you've got room. I will show you to your rooms. Unless you want dinner first.
If you?
Who even eats?
Well, I do for
No
fun.
meat. You eat for fun. Does Delphia eat? You didn't hear what I said? Or is she frozen?
Oh yeah. Does Sophia eat?
Sometimes.
She had good
Okay.
breakfast.
Yeah.
All right.
You were interested in pastries earlier, so.
Yeah. So yeah. 50% of this team is able to eat.
Sometimes I feed code to Screwdriver.
Sounds like a plan. Then
Little
we can go
gifs
to the kitchen.
like pastries, little Instagram reels of
Yeah.
Or just recipes. Not even like actual pictures or anything, just the words going in, the code, the recipe for the meal.
All right. So Esther will lead you down to the kitchen today. You see how well this entire area is lit. It is a the residents of Mercy have unique appetites. And the people of the kitchens work hard to keep them all fed. This is one of the largest areas of the mansion, and the atmosphere is stifling. It's heated, and it is pervasive with smells that those of you that can smell would rather not dwell too much on their source. For some of you, it's delicious. For some of you, it is not. It is a heady mixture. Either way, there are a handful of monsters here already. Some of them appear to be human. There are just a couple of extra touches that mark them as different as yourselves, and some of them are quite obviously creatures of a different kind. But they're all sort of gathered around the tables as they can. There are different sized tables for different sized beings. Esther leads you up to a seat somewhere towards the hall, and you sit down, and so how? I mean, you've just gotten here, but how have your investigations been going so far?
Interestingly.
Well, we haven't uncovered as much as we'd like, but we're making progress. We're trying to uncover kind of the nature of, well, how would one kind of not be stopped if walking around outside of the bounds of their schedule, and how would they avoid notice is kind of where we're at. We're questioning how Ahmad ended up in the library where they were killed.
We've well, I'm not privy to that information. You're gonna have to ask my father for the surveillance logs from that night. I mean, you'd think it would be one of the first things we check, wouldn't you?
Yes, you would think that.
Yeah. He's been rather tight-lipped about this whole affair. I'm so sorry, Amit. In fact, Dad seems kind of angry at you, but I told him it's not your fault. You don't remember what happened.
What is Esther's demeanor as she says all of this? Does she seem like that jovial of like, yeah, this is wacky. That's
It's pretty much that. It's she's playing jovial hostess. She seems just so welcoming and fascinated with everything that.
And does this like clash with what Simona remembers of her when she was here, and Esther was much younger?
So you remember something like this? This was a child who grew up amongst monsters. This was someone who was always bright-eyed, always curious, always wanting to know what monsters were capable of. In comparison, however, there's an earnestness that's the jovialness you see here. It is shallow. It is you don't know what the ulterior motive is, but this is basically the kind of manner you get from someone who's hoping to mess with you later.
Yeah.
It's not curiosity and excitement and thrill and wonder for its own sake, but more as a means to a later end of getting you to trust and like.
So the usual human to Simona.
Pretty much, yeah.
Esther, you've got a real car salesman vibe.
I mean, I am a businesswoman.
Do you recall the night at all? Do you have any memory of kind of where you were?
But yes, I do. I was I was coming in from I was out of town. You see, I was coming in from Chennai. I had some business down there. A couple of people to meet up with.
You were out of town?
I was out of town, unfortunately. Yes, when I came back and I heard what had happened to Amit, I was heartbroken. Actually, and Amit will back me up on this. I don't actually live in the mansion most of the time. I'm out here doing the research, meeting with people, trying to see what can be done to help monsters to integrate with society, to use their abilities to fit in places that they can.
And your father was here.
Oh, he's always here. Yes. He wasn't born here, but I always said one day he'll die here. Although that man is too stubborn to die.
I think this whole time Simona would be looking around the kitchen, searching for familiar faces. She's still trying to keep a low profile and her face hidden, but like anyone who's been here back when she was not necessarily that they were her friend, but
people you knew, yeah. It is a largely it's like going back to college a little bit to visit. It's mostly new people here. You don't recognize them. They're all the only difference is that a lot of them are significantly old. Some of them are still older than you, but new to being here. There is a sense of there's always that sort of stiffness of monsters that are not quite comfortable in human environments. It fades out. You can tell the difference between someone who's been here for a while and is comfortable around, say, using forks and spoons, or just sitting at a table in such a mundane setting, and the different and people who are not comfortable with a well-lit world. One person you do recognize who's been here for a while is someone you know to be a vampire named Ruth. She's sort of sitting in the corner. As you recall now, she almost always did. Her skin is a little too pale. Her grey eyes are a little too wide. Her teeth pointed and her body tense. You can see even from here her scalp is showing through patches of thin hair. And she looks unchanged from when you were here. She has the face of someone who doesn't exactly look tired. She looks like someone who has spent a very, very long time trying not to look tired at all. She's drinking from a crimson bowl of soup. You have a fairly good idea that the soup is probably
Vampires, werewolves. I mean, I've got to go investigate and inquire. So yeah, I don't think Simona would spend too much time with Esther around the table. She would just swoop over and sit down give her a grin. Just a grin.
You kind of glitched.
You froze up for a second. You said, yeah.
She would swoosh over to Ruth and sit across from her and just give her a grin, not a smile, but a grin showing the teeth, and say, Ruth, long time no see."
She looks up, and there's a moment as recollection comes to her, and then she takes another sip of her soup and she nods in the direction. Simona.
Exactly. How have you been? You look the same.
I've been the same. How have you been?
I think I grew up quite a bit.
That's not easy for people as old as us.
And the world's changed quite a bit as well. And she, leans over and looks at the rest of the kitchen and asks, you might have an idea of why I'm here, but as you can see at that table, there's a certain ghost that I was sent here, asked to come here to investigate. Have you any clues, any indications of what happened to him?
Terrible werewolf, excellent ghost. I don't really know him too well. All I know is that he bled out a lot. The library still smells of the blood he left behind.
I saw.
I haven't been able to go. Yeah, I haven't been able to go there for a while. I'm sure you remember the vampire werewolf blood. It's terrible.
Yeah, I don't think that would be appealing. How about magic circles that are drawn in the ground in the library? Do you know anything about that?
Someone, I assume you mean occult of some sort?
Very obviously occult.
To my knowledge, no. That's something that principal would frown very strongly on.
Yes, I thought that as well.
I mean, every once in a while a monster does it. It's people that enjoy their tiny acts of rebellion.
Okay. Trying to think of what else they would talk about. But I think Simona would just inquire about any kinds of changes around the place, anything unusual that Ruth might have seen, and
Well,
that sort of thing.
well, if you recognize Esther, she's grown up a fair bit. She's making some pretty big changes around here. There's the power room for people with. We're getting a lot less fires around here. That's for certain. We've I don't know if you've seen out back, but we have some lovely gardens for people who enjoy that kind of thing. A lot of, but mostly it's in and out. It's the same. People come, people go. Some people come back, and many do not.
Gotcha. Well, I hope you're getting whatever you need to get out of this place.
You know me. I'm here for life.
Yeah, I know. And if she's not going to have any questions about Simona, then
Yeah.
Simona just swooshes out as well.
So so you leave her to her soup, and at this point, George has come to your table, and he has a whole tray of brownies he has cut up and is placing in front of you guys. He stiffens a little bit when he sees you coming close, and takes a step back.
I'll just go around and wander around the room and see anything. Look at the photos on the walls or something that I haven't seen in a while.
There are a number of there are a lot of photos here. In fact, one of the photos, one of the older photos, something about it feels off to you in a way you can't quite put your finger on, and you start to take a closer look. But it's at that moment, while George is telling you excitedly about the different things he put in the brownies, the little secret ingredients he's putting in, you all start to hear that, or not hear, that absolute silence. It fills the room. Just a wave of noiselessness. You are prepared for it this time. You manage to shrug off the blinding rage. It fills in you. And it stops, and sound comes back in. But now George is still. He exhales, and the bottom half of his face melts away. So you see green scales underneath. As opposed to last time where he gently put his skin aside, this time it is ripped through. As he expands, this time growing, not the delicate origami unfolding of his self that you saw before. This time he grows and he fills the room, even larger than he was before. There is no humanity left in his eyes. It is raging and it is feral. He takes a deep breath and unleashes his fire within you. And that is where we shall end today's session.
Wow.
No.
Fuck. Wow.
I need to protect George.
Yes.
Shit's gonna get weird this next episode.
At the moment, George is not the one in need of protection.
Well,
I am looking forward to it.
I will say
You also need to protect your baby Bjork creature with you.
child.
I think I might have a play for next week. Okay, this is good.
I do too. I have an
alright.
idea for
Yes,
next session.
That is fantastic. That is exactly why I cliffhangered there. I want to hear all your plans as soon as we come back next week. I'm looking forward to it. Plans for George, plans for for saving those brownies, which are frankly my motivation, and plans for solving this incredibly confusing mystery. You will see all of that here next week. This has been a Keys, and for our audience, good night.
Bye.
We'll be back next Friday,
Bye.
which is the what's the date? It is the 10th of May. Yes, fuck, it's already May. Yeah. Okay. See you next week.